Bayonne and Biarritz. From the outside, they look like paradise, ocean, sunshine, Basque culture, lifestyle perfection. But for long-term renters, this isn't paradise. I promise you, it's an absolute battlefield. And today I want to explain why. Not from theory, but from what we've actually lived through helping clients search there. Why it's harder, why people struggle, and why you should think twice before committing to this region for your first year in France. When people dream of moving to France, the Basque coast is right up there with Paris, Provence, and the Riviera. Biarritz has the glamour, a resort town shaped by royalty holidaying there back in the 19th century. And Bayonne has the history, a fortified town with character, markets, and that unmistakable Basque identity, which they're very proud of. And the lifestyle, well, I genuinely think it's incredible. I'd move there tomorrow, I think, if I could convince the family to. World-class restaurants clustered in tight little streets, a surfing community that never switches off, and outdoor activities that span hiking, cycling, fishing, and just living on the beach. Plus the transport links, San Sebastian, Bilbao, Bordeaux, all next door. The Biarritz airport opening up much of Europe anyway. So yes, it's magnetic. But that same magnetism is exactly why the rental market has turned into a battlefield, a champ de guerre. There are three fronts that every long-term renter faces here. First one is timing. Now, in summer, the supply vanishes into short-term lets. Airbnbs dominates. By the time you arrive, the pool has already shrunk. Our searches typically take 3 to 6 weeks in most regions. But down in Biarritz, every successful search has taken more than 5 weeks. The longest, 3 months, quarter of a year. The next one is politics. The local communes are strict. If landlords rent short-term in summer, they're often forced to list in the off-season as a bail mobilité or student lets. On paper, it looks like a year-long rental. In practice, it's capped at 6 to 9 months. And that throws so many movers, of course. And then finally, there's a budget mismatch. This is simply one of the most expensive rental markets in France. Clients come in with 1,500 to 1,800 euros a month, and what the budget gets them is shocking compared to elsewhere they would have seen on YouTube. At times, buying makes more sense than renting, which is a complete inversion of how this stage of the move is supposed to work. And it's not just structural, it's emotional. We've seen clients burn weeks watching properties disappear before they can even book a viewing. We've seen people convinced they had a deal, only to realize it was a mobility contract that would end mid-year. And truthfully, we struggle too as a team. If there's one thing we pride ourselves on, it's presenting clients with strong options. We dig, we pitch, we push every single angle. But in this region, the pool is so small, we're often fishing with bare hooks. And when search drags from 6 weeks into 10 or 12, that takes a toll on the client, on us, on everyone. It's just not fun. Just to put this into perspective so you can see where we're coming from, in Bordeaux, 1,500 euros can still land you a proper long-term apartment if you're well prepared. In Nice, yes, it's competitive, but there's volume, agency, stock, turnover. The scale works in your favor at the right time of the year. But down in Biarritz, the smaller pool, the tighter politics, higher prices, and far fewer second chances. Now, sometimes the answer isn't giving up, it's widening the search. The region as a whole offers more options than just Bayonne and Biarritz city centres. Move inland a little and suddenly you find landlords more open, pricing that's realistic, and longer leases available. Time and again, clients who set their heart on Biarritz end up just outside and are often happier for it. And here's where it gets even trickier, because rents are so inflated, it often makes buyers stop and think. Is it actually worth renting here at all? If you're serious about the Basque coast and have the means, the rent versus buy equation can flip quite quickly. For some profiles, renting isn't the easier path. Buying gives you certainty, security, and in this region, surprisingly competitive value. That's kind of why I'm always up front. If a client comes to me in July or August and says, I want a year-long rental in Biarritz, I'll often tell them, we can't help. Not because we don't want to, but because I know exactly where that search leads. 3 months of grind, few wins, and a lot of frustration. Our job isn't to waste your time or ours. It's to tell you the truth, even if it hurts a little. And let me be clear, everyone should still fight for it. If this is your dream, don't walk away just because it's difficult, but walk into it knowing that it is a fight. It is rocky, it's slow, and it takes planning. So I guess that's where we're at. That's the reality check. If you're considering Bayonne or Biarritz for your first year in France, you need to accept the search will take longer, budget more than you think, potentially consider widening your radius, or even buying if this region is your non-negotiable. I certainly believe it's worth fighting for anyway. I don't share this to discourage you. I share it because too many movers hit this battlefield unprepared. If you're serious about moving to France, don't start with the dream, start with the decision. I think you could take a lot of pain off yourselves that way. I've added our quiz, where to move to in France, and you'll see in black and white how regions compare on cost, culture, and livability. It might just save you months of wasted time and help you choose the right battlefield for your new life in France. Thanks for listening.